Now, the Cabot-Phillips thing is also very interesting. Well, it also turns out that Cabot-Phillips, from September 4th all the way through to September 10th until September 11th, took a vacation and he wasn't on a show.
Maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse.
You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks.
What if your entire understanding of Charlie Kirk's death was fundamentally incorrect? What if those currently professing to honor his legacy were allegedly undermining him privately behind closed doors? The information I am about to present will fundamentally alter your perspective on this entire situation. Candace Owens recently released explosive allegations that are creating shockwaves throughout conservative media circles. She claims Ben Shapiro and a man named Phillips, who previously dated Erika Kirk, were actively working to obstruct his professional advancement and block his rising influence. The striking aspect is that both individuals now present themselves as protectors and defenders of his legacy. According to Candace, Phillips is reportedly being positioned as his replacement at Turning Point USA. Consider this carefully. The individual allegedly working against him behind the scenes is now assuming his role and stepping into his shoes. The situation becomes increasingly disturbing when Candace alleges Phillips attended a confidential military meeting the evening before his assassination, literally the night before. Following these public allegations, Phillips immediately attempted damage control by releasing a photograph claiming it proved his presence elsewhere entirely during that specific time frame. However, Candace remains skeptical and openly questions whether the photograph's date and location information were manipulated or altered. What receives insufficient attention is that Phillips was hired directly by Shapiro himself as a senior editor at the Daily Wire. This reveals an extremely tight inner circle connecting these individuals. Candace characterizes this entire situation as what she describes as one big club, an elite group. According to her assessment, Kirk was never included in that exclusive network or club. She claims he was being sabotaged behind the scenes, and by the time he recognized what was happening to him, it had already become irreversible and too late. These are substantial and heavy allegations, but Candace expanded her accusations even further beyond this point.
That they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk.
She directly confronted Shapiro on her own podcast platform, and this is where the situation intensifies dramatically. She presented authentic private text messages between herself and Kirk, actual real messages. According to these communications, he believed Shapiro was actively undermining both their careers simultaneously. His advice to Candace in these messages was to treat Shapiro like noise. Those were his exact words and phrasing. In those private conversations, he allegedly claimed Shapiro's respect among movement fighters and participants was extremely limited and low. He wrote that the situation involving Shapiro included him more than Shapiro wanted to publicly admit. He even employed metaphors from the popular television series, suggesting Shapiro viewed him as a genuine threat to his position. Kirk believed Shapiro was attempting to destroy both their careers deliberately. He mentioned Shapiro sending what he described metaphorically as his incestuous brother to attack them. While clearly using figurative and metaphorical language, the hostility and animosity in those messages is completely undeniable. The situation worsens even further beyond this point. He allegedly told Candace that Shapiro harbored specific resentment and hatred toward her, particularly because Kirk himself had supported her publicly. According to these communications, Shapiro viewed Candace as someone he wanted to control completely and entirely, referring to her as, and this is a direct quote, "my slave 100%," someone he desired absolute control over. Candace later publicly confirmed these messages' authenticity and stated she possesses hundreds more similar communications just like them. She is reportedly holding approximately 300 messages in total. She now publicly states that Shapiro is falsely presenting and portraying himself as his defender when, according to her assessment, Kirk would be laughing at Shapiro's current behavior right now if he could see it. She is escalating her criticism and attacks significantly, describing Shapiro as obnoxious and accusing him of harboring animosity and hatred toward anyone outside his carefully chosen inner circle. The confrontation has become completely unrestrained, and the gloves are entirely off.
You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point US.
Fast forward to less than 48 hours before his assassination. Kirk participated in an interview with Shapiro. Watching that interview reveals something unsettling and uncomfortable. He challenges Shapiro's talking points directly, while Shapiro appears visibly uncomfortable during the exchange. Kirk begins asking what some characterize as forbidden questions, questions that made people uneasy. According to sources, Turning Point USA donors allegedly disapproved strongly of this direction he was pursuing. They did not like it at all.
We've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse.
Many of his supporters believe he crossed a significant boundary or line. The circulating theory suggests donors desired compliance and obedience rather than challenging questions. They wanted someone who would maintain consistent messaging and stay on message. Some believe his curiosity and willingness to ask uncomfortable questions may have ultimately and actually cost him his life. That theory is gaining significant momentum and traction. Who exactly is Cat Phillips, and why does his name repeatedly surface in this situation? He works as an employee for Shapiro at the Daily Wire and previously dated Erika Kirk, making him her ex-boyfriend. According to a source Candace claims to have contacted and spoken with, both Phillips and Erika attended a confidential military meeting at Fort Huachuca Military Base located in Arizona. That is an actual real location, and this represents a specific allegation with details. Candace introduces an eyewitness to her show, a veteran identifying himself by the name Mitch. He claims he was physically present and witnessed a secret meeting occurring the evening before the assassination took place. He names specific individuals allegedly present at this gathering, including someone named Brian Harpole, who maintains direct connections to Turning Point USA security operations. Most disturbingly and chillingly, Mitch reports seeing someone whose appearance resembled Phillips. After being shown his photograph for identification purposes, Mitch confirmed the identification positively, stating that was the individual he personally observed at that location.
Send him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember being at the base. Now I'm like, that would be totally crazy. Maybe, again, this could be a lookalike. And so I messaged Cabot Phillips and did not get a response, but it at least is compelling. And I was like, let me do some basic fact checks here. What do I even know about this guy, Cabot Phillips? And I know that he does the Morning Wire at the Daily Wire. And I checked, and he's missing from the Morning Wire. He doesn't do it daily, but he does it enough times that I noticed that he is missing from September 4th to the September 10th.
Mitch then appears live on Candace's podcast broadcast and provides an additional significant detail to his account. He claims he saw a blonde woman with striking and distinctive eyes, whose appearance and description matched Erika Kirk's physical characteristics.
There's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that with that man in the lobby. And that man, he was present at that meeting. Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody.
Naturally and understandably, the pressure on Phillips to respond publicly became enormous and overwhelming. He breaks his silence by releasing a photograph he alleges was taken in Nashville on September 8th. He provides surveillance footage from his office location. He shares a family photograph featuring his wife and child together. He claims he was home on both September 8th and 9th consecutively, attending an ultrasound appointment while simultaneously preparing for a gender reveal event. He even announces publicly that they are expecting a boy. He portrays and paints a picture of himself as someone who was nowhere near Arizona, simply living his ordinary and normal family life during that time frame. However, internet investigators and sleuths immediately began analyzing his photographs closely and noticed something suspicious. The magazines visible in his checkout photograph do not correspond or match with his claimed date accurately. They do not line up properly. This raises serious and legitimate questions about whether his presented timeline is actually accurate or truthful. Phillips claims Candace possesses the original photograph and complete metadata to verify everything he states, but she responds by firing back and stating, iPhone metadata can be easily edited and manipulated. She demonstrates on her program how remarkably simple altering photographs and their embedded information actually is for anyone. She notes and points out that even edited photographs can still be traced and verified if transmitted via text message directly. Candace makes a very public request asking Phillips to text the photograph directly to her personally. According to her statement and claim, he has not done so. He still has not sent it. Where does this leave the entire situation? No definitive proof yet exists regarding who is being completely truthful in this matter. However, examining public opinion trending online reveals extremely clear sentiment among observers. Many of his supporters have lost complete trust in both Shapiro and Phillips. When directly asked whether they trust these individuals, the overwhelming response is absolute and complete skepticism, stating not even a little bit. The question overshadowing everything is simple, yet haunting and disturbing. Was Kirk eliminated and taken out because he started asking the wrong questions? Were the people now publicly claiming his legacy the same exact ones who wanted him silenced permanently?